It's a good attempt here from North. Sometimes you can get lucky with the right flashbang. They got the flashbang, but Shox just wasn't interested anyway.
Again, the buddy system coming up huge for G2.
Yeah, it's very impressive what we're witnessing here. They did it at the Pro League final, and they might be taking the Dreamhack Masters trophy as well. 15-9. This G2 team under a lot of criticism pretty much from the inception.
Yes.
People were not pleased with their performances. They were expecting more out of this star-studded lineup, but it's starting to really work. You're seeing what it's all about here.
In all fairness as well, they weren't happy with some of their performance as well, and they said it was going to be a long-term project, and they said they were going to work on it. And we're starting to see the results of that work.
Battle here, and Kenny to take down MSL. Not the way you want to get started in a round like this. 3 versus 5, and G2 looking phenomenal. An almost indestructible team in this tournament. Kenny sneaking down, and I think he might have even spotted the bomb, so they should know what's coming. A bit of a mission. Flashbang comes in, and Shox at least is being forced back, but eventually Cajun has to win this fight against Kenny. He hasn't been able to all game long, and finally he does. I don't want to say it's light at the end of the tunnel. There's more to come. Shox by the chicken coop, and they're trying to see if they can bait out the shot, but he's not buying, taking down Valder and falling in behind cover. He wants to take this fight. He wants to end this game. AC and Cajun, they know they're in trouble. 30 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is on the other side while the fight is happening here. Body coming really close to AC, and there's the headshot, and it's all on Cajun B. 20 seconds in a 1 versus 4 here. G2 Esports have played an incredible tournament, and they're just 1 kill away, and it's gonna happen. 16-9 as G2 are your Dreamhack Masters champions. Amazing.
From start to finish in these games, G2 has looked so focused, so prepared, dismantling a team that we said the very same thing about just yesterday. Kenny S with the opping in this grand final was phenomenal, and the whole team coming through. No questions about their play here today.
Phenomenal to see it. You mentioned that fateful game back in 2015 where Kenny disappeared on this very map. This time he was here with an amazing performance. They win the grand finals. Your champions, ladies and gentlemen, G2.
I say we let him go for a minute. What do you think?
Sorry?
I say we let him go for a minute. What do you think?
What?
I say we let him go. The crowd's hyped. What do you think?
Oh, it's amazing.
It is. Congratulations. You guys have grabbed the big W here at Dreamhack Malmö. How do you feel?
Oh, I mean, we were not coming into this tournament expecting a win, so I mean, we've taken it game by game, and we took down some of the biggest beasts in the world. I mean, the feeling is great in our team. I mean, obviously we just won, but I mean, the fashion everything we showed, the way we played as a team, I mean, it is a very good fitting.
You're saying the best of the best, and that is certainly true. SK, NIP, and now North have fallen to your guns, and looking forward, North putting up a good fight here. Talk to me a little bit about their battle back.
I mean, it was a tough game. Like on Inferno, we kind of lost ourselves on the city side. They had some good rounds, and they just pushed Banana every single round. Aside from that, I mean, Cobalt was a tough fight. We just managed to win the economy battle. That was the most important. And yeah, we just locked down the bomb sites and managed to know more or less what they were doing, make the good gambles. So yeah, I mean, just proud of the way the team played.
When you came into this matchup, There was a little bit of time to prepare, knowing that your opponent was going to be North. What did you guys look to capitalize on here?
Nothing at all. I mean, just shutting down Config because he's an amazing player, and I mean, he showed it time and time again. And aside from that, I mean, we played our game, focused on ourselves. We were not sure what the maps were going to be. And yeah, it just happened.
It just kind of happened. That's exactly how that works. Looking at this, though, when a player like Apex comes online, and honestly, he's been putting him down all tournament long, how much easier is it for you guys?
I mean, due to the fact that he is also leading Mirage and that he prepared the map, he showed up individually. I mean, he's by far the MVP of the tournament.
Now, one last question I have for you. And a team that has seen its inconsistency, is this a new chapter for G2?
Hope so. I mean, we've been working on that, working on the basic and trying to grind one game after another. And hopefully we can grind one even on top of another. And that's the only thing we're aiming for.
That's all it is. It's building blocks, baby. All right, well, I'm going to throw it one last time over to the desk where Alex and the boys are waiting by.
It's a feeling not everyone gets in competitive Counter-Strike, but this time, the pleasure is all G2's. The French roster that are up and down all over the shop. Now they're on the high as they'll be walking through this stadium, doing their signings, looking at that trophy and realizing it is indeed theirs. They are your champions of Dreamhack Masters, Malmö. A long time coming, perhaps, for them, as the Samurais get another trophy for their cabinet. And it was quite swift as well. 2 games is all it took to best North, a team that have been equally as exciting here in Sweden, and the growth for both of these teams is apparent. What a game, Chad.
Yeah, they did it back in Dallas in the Pro League Finals, and they did it again. Very convincing, or at least it looked that way for the most part. Config did the best he could on that first map, but on the second, it just looked all to be G2. That fight back in the second part of the first half was phenomenal. Great to see. Kenny has putting up big numbers, getting it done for the boys.
Yeah, equally impressive to see that G2's way of actually winning both maps was, following the similar recipe on both T sides. You could see immediate pressure towards one bomb site to kind of just keep North very honest about how they need to set up their CT setups and that kind of stuff. So eventually it allows for G2 to just by default get more room to work with eventually. And after more or less struggling to figure out how to actually deal with Plateau and Cajun, especially MSL, playing that sidewalk position, they make a very nice adaptation of putting more focus down towards drop. It takes a bit too long for North to actually figure out what's going on in that period of time, and that allows for G2 to actually have a bit of a salvaged T side. But they've been very clear about how they wanted to approach their T sides in this finals, and I think that's a sign of a bit of a new chapter in G2's storyline. The fact that they're actually no longer necessarily relying on just going out and being individuals. Now they're actually focused on doing stuff as a team, more so than ever.
And they won it as a team as well. Photo time, you can see Shocks there.
What a pose.
What a pose.
That's like paint me like one of your French ladies pose.
Yeah, we have Shocks, NBK, Apex, Body, and Kenny S. The 5 of them alongside Smith, their coach, NK, their analyst, all coming together, all the tools in the right place. And it is indeed picture time. The fans certainly will be chasing these boys, champions here in Sweden. Janko, we haven't heard your thoughts yet. To see G2 do it, you had had faith in them in the first map, expecting to see a third, and they've gone and exceeded all expectations.
Yeah, they played really well in this series. You could see what we were talking about in the pre-game, that they are going to have a lot of confidence coming into the game against North because of previous results they had against them, most notably the Pro League Finals, where they defeated them in a best-of-5 finals. And you could tell in the second half on that cobblestone game, 2 consecutive rounds where G2 is at a disadvantage. They make the correct gambles. When North tries to execute the fake, they have 3 players stacked towards A. They have all the information, they shut it down. Following round, they're in a 4v5 situation. You can see how they left Apex alone towards A, still had 3 players towards B. I think that comes from the confidence. I think maybe against another team, they make that extra rotation and North perhaps gets entrance into the bomb site. But G2 very much on point throughout the whole tournament. Didn't really, have a serious struggle despite that one map that was close against NIP, and yes, the scare against SK Gaming where they made the comeback.
Their path to lift that trophy, they best none other than their French rivals Envy after, of course, that French roster shuffle. They follow that with a best of 3 versus grand finalists of the most recent major, Immortals. And then the battle begins versus SK Gaming. They do get the double Brazilian brilliance, and they take them both down. And following that, we have a nice, solid road as they, yes, as much as the crowd are giving them love, they did take the favorites out of this one, at least the crowd favorites, NIP, to take them to this point now, as North are the last team for them to, the last scalp for them to take.
Not only that, Alex, they notch their first mark in their belt for the Intel Grand Slam. So that's nice for G2 to put that one there.
Absolutely. 4 is the magic number for that. 4 wins amongst the Dreamhack Masters, IEM, Pro League, and all of those goodies combined, as well as ESL 1, will get you an extra $1 million in your back pocket. So that's a step in the right direction. SK actually had it taken away from them, none other than G2. So it's like, no, you can't have it. It's our turn to get 1 notch on the belt. 4 is the match. Doesn't sound like much.
Doesn't really, does it?
Not
Only 4 tournament wins.
Major tournaments.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
I think G2's next chance might be at Oakland if they qualify or get invited, and then after that it could be Pro League finals. They're not going to be